Who was the mystery woman who caused Kandi to walk off of the first group filming event? And which housewife does she have close ties to? I have some new information that may answer all of those questions and more right after this. What's up, kinfolk, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, do me a favor and subscribe. And if you already are subscribed, do me a favor and get notified so you'll know whenever I upload new videos to the channel. Alright, kinfolk, come on into the house. We have a lot to talk about, and it centers around the mystery woman who allegedly caused Kandi to walk off of the first group filming event for Real Housewives of Atlanta season 15. Who is she? And which housewife does she allegedly have close ties to? Well, I have some new information that may answer all of those questions and more. And here it goes. Rumors are that the mystery woman at the center of Kandi's big event walk-off is no other than, allegedly, a friend of Marlo's. Sources believe the mystery lady has some deep connection to Marlo in some way. One industry insider said, if this rumor is true, then we may see Marlo try to hit Kandi next season where it really hurts, with Todd. The insider said that Marlo may be changing up her tactics against Kandi after seeing her last season plan blow up in her face. It's clear Marlo read the room wrong, and now it's clear that she knows. Don't come for a fan favorite unless you are ready to take them down with undeniable receipts, ended the source. So, does this mystery lady have the receipts? Is she really doing Marlo's dirty work for her? Well, several insiders said, most likely she is, if the rumors are true. However, it won't work, and will only lead to Marlo's end on the show. Why is that? Well, sources say because these type of attacks against Kandi never work because fans have seen them before. Also, after last season's Good Girl edit of Marlo at the reunion, fans will be expecting more of the same. This time, the edits may allegedly hide Marlo being the puppet master for the mystery woman, ended the source. Everyone knows that in order to take down a housewife, you have to have direct information and be direct with the attack. No beating around the bush. No throwing the rock and hiding your hand. Putting all the evidence out in the front of the cast, producers, and fans is the only way to achieve this mission, continued the source. Marlo's problem has always been her delivery and lack of evidence for most of her claims. And that's what frustrates the ladies the most, allegedly. She would allegedly tell half lie and half truths, which never worked, ended the source. For now, it's unclear if Bravo will use the footage of the walkout for next season. Sources are also saying that the accusations brought to Kandi were so hurtful and messy that production may choose not to air it. For good reason, said the source. It's clear production has a new winning formula for the franchise's success, and fortunately for Kandi, it doesn't involve any more petty, dark, and manufactured drama. Now, kinfolk, when I got this information this week that allegedly the mystery woman has some deep ties or connections to Marlo, I wasn't surprised. And I wasn't surprised for this very reason. And the reason is this. Marlo had no other choice but to change up her tactics if she is trying to get at Kandi. Because her tactics that she used this last season, like my source said, just simply didn't work. And also, like my source said, that half truth and that half lie, trying to make up some drama between her and another person, or trying to call another cast member out, simply didn't work because it was just too manufactured and it never made sense. Like the source said, Marlo's biggest problem is her delivery. The things she said about Kandi, or any of the housewives for that matter, could very well be true or have some truth to it. However, it's the fact that she always presents it in a way in which it's not believable or it's not coherent. And it always comes off as her being fake, very inauthentic, and also very frustrating to a lot of the ladies, so my sources is saying. So, with that being said, she had to change up her tactics. And then she had to change up her tactics because if you are to believe this rumor, and it's only speculation now that she used someone else to attack Kandi, it makes perfectly good sense because she can't be seen with her hands being dirty with this drama because, like my sources were telling me, she could face the potential of being iced out by the cast. And when you're iced out by the cast, that never ends well. It almost is you pretty much signing your eviction papers to be removed from the cast. When other cast members have band together and don't want to film with you, it becomes very hard for producers to sway them because you have the majority of ladies who are still willing to film with one another, and you have the majority of ladies who are not willing to film with you. So you find yourself on an island all to yourself. And the next reason why I feel like if this rumor is true, Marlo picked the perfect person to do it is because of this. If you are the type of person that believes that drama is best served to someone via a different vehicle or via a bone collector, then you might will see why I feel like Marlo used this particular woman to her advantage. Because allegedly, this is a woman who is trying out to be a friend of the show. And so if you are trying to switch up your drama, and if you believe in, kind of like throwing a rock and hiding your hand and keeping your image all neat and pristine, then you probably one of the people who understand why Marlo used someone else to do the dirty work. Because Marlo knew that person probably too would be so anxious and so ready to start some drama with Kandi to prove her self-worth to producers and the other cast members. So Marlo in essence made a good call if you are to believe this rumor. And if she did do this allegedly, then it would make it seem as if that she understands that she's in a bad place moving into season 15 on the show. However, it would also suggest that Marlo knows that a lot of her interesting camera time came when she was beefing with Kandi. So she can't necessarily pull back from beefing with Kandi because that may very well be the bread and butter of her storyline. But she also knows she has to pull back in a way in which she doesn't come off as a mean girl or as the villain. So, what better person to do that, to do your drama and your bidding for you, is someone who may or may not be auditioning for a very peach of their own, or at least a friend of the show contract. And so now Marlo, in my opinion, if you believe she's in the center of this drama, has allegedly found the perfect way to keep herself on that fine line of being a villain and a good girl. Now, Kinfolk, the other part of this rumor that I find very interesting is this. It seems as if Marlo has gotten some type of coaching in the off season. And I'm not sure where that coaching has come from, but I think she has gotten some coaching. And I think that, as my sources are telling me, it's very difficult to bring down a fan favorite. And in order for you to bring down a fan favorite, you have to have the evidence presented directly in front of the cast, the audience, and producers. Pretty much how it was done with Phaedra. The reason why I feel like Marlo has gotten some off-season coaching by who, I don't know, is that now she understands that she can't risk her reputation as much as she did last season, because it really is one of the only things that, not necessarily the only things, but one of the main things that got her on the show. And so now she's understanding the whole magic of reality television. Something that Portia understood, but just like Marlo could never execute. And so now we're seeing her kind of changing up her spots a little bit. And now we're seeing her begin to make different moves. And a lot of this, from my sources, say is not necessarily directed to what happened at the event, but since filming has only been going on for a couple of days, my sources are telling me that they are seeing a very different Marlo. And one Marlo who they kind of feel like knows you can't necessarily go against a fan favorite unless you're going to bring it, or you're going to find yourself doing a lot of apologizing at the back end. And from my sources are saying, regardless of how the edit that was done for her at the reunion of being a quote-unquote good girl, it's not going to work, and it's not going to work because of this. Marlo, from what my sources are telling me, is very adamant, allegedly, on being the new villain. She is allegedly very adamant and very focused on being the show's new villain. Now, I know a lot of you are saying that's crazy because we didn't like Marlo as the villain. Well, Marlo has learned something from my sources telling me from whoever has coached her in the off season that the show always is going to need a villain, and the villain is pretty much always going to be safe from the chopping block at the end of the day. So now we're going to see how this plays out this season with Marlo, who is beginning to, from my sources say, relax, fall back, and cross her legs and her hands and sit inside that villain role and trying to get comfortable in it. So we might see her tactics change up, but I can rest assure you that these tactics may not be to present her as the good girl, quote unquote, but pretty much as a more intelligent villain. Now, Kinfolk, the last thing I want to touch on is about this footage of what happened at the party. Now, my sources are telling me the information that was brought to Kandi was very disrespectful. Of course, they did I did put two and two together when getting the information, and you can pretty much kind of, infer what was going on. But however, at the end of the day, the things that were brought to Kandi were very disrespectful, and I've been told by my sources that the production just won't air or may not air what happened at the party, and they may not air it because of this. My sources are saying that Bravo allegedly is very, very pleased with the current cast of ladies. And they're very pleased at the way they present drama and the way they present conflict and resolution on air and off air. And the information that was brought to Kandi, from my sources are saying, is very reminiscent of the dark seasons of Real Housewives of Atlanta, where fans really were just turned off, where fans were just very, very upset and drained by all the dark energy. Now, my sources are telling me if this type of drama does lead to a bigger issue or is an important key factor in future drama, then they might add it in. But for right now, it looks as if they probably won't, because it's just too reminiscent, allegedly, of the old Real Housewives of Atlanta drama that fans simply were sick and tired of. But Kinfolk, I want to know what you guys think. Now, if you are to believe this rumor, and it's all alleged information and speculation at this point, but do you think Marlo really had something to do with this? Or do you think it is just a lot of confusion and we really won't know who is at the middle of this until the season begins to air? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Alright, Kinfolk, as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys over in the next one. Peace.